Right. Welcome, everyone. Once again, we are starting time now. This is Eretmis Cyber Chat. We do this every Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, and we appreciate your time. And like I always say, you are going to have something new for your toolbox. And for tonight, we had a privilege. We have the privilege of having our own Bettina to take us through what she do on a daily basis, and then also to walk us through if she was supposed to start today her whole entire journey. How is she going to go about it with what she knows now? Right. So kindly hold one. So this is brought to you by Arithmos Academy. It's a cybersecurity institute based out of New York. And we teach everything and anything cybersecurity. I'm Dr. Emmanuel Edu. I'm going to be your pilot for tonight. And Michael is going to be my co-pilot. And for most of you who are not aware, Michael is also a captain in the Air Force. I used to be a captain in the United States Army. I was the one who actually sworn in Michael when he became an officer, right? So we go a long way, and eventually Michael has been able to catch up to me. We are moving on. I'm Dr. Emmanuel Edu. I'm the CEO of Eretmis Inc., former United States Army captain, a member of Forbes Technology Council, and also the founder of Eretmis Academy, and former professor at University of Maryland Global Campus, and also CTC. And CompTIA, we are partners with CompTIA, authorized partners, Arithmos Academy. We are authorized partners. And what this means is that for every certification that you buy or purchase through us, you get a 20% discount. And now the 20% discount is to us, right? And we intend to give that to you for you to have that discount. So if you are looking to sit for any CompTIA certification, kindly make sure you are reaching out to us and we help you out with a 20% discount. And then also for if you have your certification already and you're looking to recertify, you can either resit for the exam or you can use what they call continuing educational points to renew. And being here tonight, if you put hashtag Team Live in the chat, you can take a screenshot of it, and that will count towards as one continuing educational point. So you can use as many of that to renew your certification. So with that out of the way, for Eretmis Cyber Chat, we have a WhatsApp group now. The link is going to be posted, so you'll be able to use that to join. That way you don't miss any cyber chat and everything else going on in the community, you'll be in the know, right? And then also our YouTube channel, we are transmitting live on YouTube, so you can also join us on YouTube. And for tonight, we are going to be looking at first cyber news, and we will look at our discussion for this evening, which is how to become a cybersecurity manager. And in the news tonight, Dr. Ido is in the news, right? So we've been doing cyber news for a while, but today's cyber news includes me in there. There was a ransomware attack in one of the schools in New York, and the news folks reach out for my opinion on that, and we are going to look at that here shortly. So kindly hold one. So the ransomware attack at Riverdale Country School is a private school in New York. It was attacked. So we are going to look at the news item. I think most of you on our platforms, you had a chance to read through the whole entire blog, but for everybody else who missed it, we are going to look at that time now. So I think the audio. There we go.
On a low Bronx price Morning, we're now learning more about a ransomware attack on an elite Bronx private school. News 12's Karina Gary is speaking with a cybersecurity expert about what you need to know to keep your data safe.
Riverdale Country School students, parents, and teachers are all victims of a ransomware attack.
With ransomware attacks, they kind of use it to mimic the olden day of kidnapping people and asking for money. Right. So now they are not kidnapping a human being, but they are kidnapping your data.
The group behind the attack, Ransom Hub, was able to hack into the elite private school's database last month. They then threatened to expose personal information if their demands were not met. Sources close to the school tell me that they will not be paying the demand made and that they are working closely with law enforcement at this time. They also say that they've notified the families of those involved about this attack. Cybersecurity experts like Dr. Adu say the school is doing the right thing by not paying the demand.
There have been studies that shows that even when you do pay the ransom, sometimes they don't release the data.
But now that data, which includes biographical, contact, and medical information, is currently available for all to see on the hacker's site. As of March 8th, the website showed that more than 5,000 people viewed the school's data. These attacks are becoming more and more common.
Every company, every institution might get hit at a point in time.
So what can you do to protect your data? Step 1, make sure to install firewalls, antivirus, and anti-malware software. Next, regularly check any vulnerabilities in your system. And finally, train your staff on cybersecurity measures. In Fieldston, Karina Gary, News 12 The Bronx.
All right, so that was our first cyber news item, and I think some recommendations were given. I also want to have everybody's input, maybe 2 or 3 people. What do you think are some of the things we can do to prevent such incidents, right? Anyone? You can raise your virtual hand.
Encryption.
How do you use encryption to do this? Maybe somebody else can also maybe break it down further. Yes, so encryption may be one of the things that you can use, but in what context and how do you use it? Anybody else? How would you prevent a ransomware attack? In your company? Mike, please go ahead.
Okay, so one important activity or one important thing that we can do is security awareness training in the organization, which can be tailored towards different group of people. Activity or sorry, am I getting feedback?
Okay, so awareness training. Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, yeah. So I was saying that if this awareness training is tailored towards different groups of people, then they will do what is right to protect the organization. For instance, this, as someone was saying, encryption, probably somebody who was a technical person was supposed to ensure that data is encrypted, did not do it because probably they did not take the time to do it. So a user awareness training can prevent that. So user awareness training is one of the things we can do.
Okay, Charles, please go ahead. You are muted if you're trying to speak, Charles. Anybody else? I think Charles is having issues with audio.
I would say
I'm there. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead, Charles.
Yeah, I'm using my phone. That's why it's kind of different with my computer. So I was saying, there is many things we can do. Also, I know somebody talked about encryption. We can update our access control policy, or we do like we make sure only people who need the information from our server can access those information. We can also put like the timing when the school is closed that nobody can access those information.
Okay.
Thank
You. And I think like somebody else wanted to also give it a shot.
I
Oh,
was
okay.
saying what needed to be done first and foremost is backing up your data, because if you fully have it backed up, they would have it, but it would affect your operation.
Okay. Yes. One of the key things is to have a backup. So if they have your data and you have a backup that you can use, then you can easily function. Uchioma, please go ahead, and then Augustine, and then we will take. Yes, Uchioma, please go ahead.
Yes. So one of the ways you can prevent this is to do continuous vulnerability scan that will help you stay proactive, and also ensure continuous compliance with any regulatory body that the organization is under. Wherever the industry standard is, just ensure you do continuous compliance and continuous vulnerability scan.
Okay, thank you. Yes, also very true. Augustine, please go ahead. You're muted if you're trying to speak.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, that is Denison.
Thank you very much. I think I didn't know I was muted. I mean, this is a school. I think one of the things they need to do is to filter the access to the network and block all the unacceptable applications from anybody getting access to it, because students can have the temptation of probably going to the social media and clicking one thing or the other, or downloading one thing or the other, thereby letting the ransomware into the network. So they should have what they call, I think, a whitelist list of applications that they can allow through the firewall into the network.
Okay. Yes, and that is one of the. Jacqueline, please go ahead.
Yes, good evening, everybody. I will want to focus more on the question you asked about encryption. What we should be encrypting, they should be encrypting is their data that is in transit and that is in rest. So especially the data that is backed up, like they said, it has to be encrypted to ensure that no malicious actor can get access to it. So just answering that question, and other security that they could put in place. And especially for their data that is in use, they should have extra using, like, for example, the TLS, the safe tunnel whenever that those data is being used, so any malicious actor cannot get hold of it.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Extensive, very extensive. So I think we have Johnson, and then Jamel will go, and then David, and then wrap it up. So Johnson, kindly go.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So one of the areas I want to talk about is having proper third-party management program, because most of the attack normally come through the vendors that you have relationship with. So as organization or any company, you need to make sure that you assess all your vendors, making sure that they have controls and their controls are working in order to prevent unauthorized access. Or because hackers normally go through, if they want to come to your lane, they know that as company you have controls in place, but they can go through your vendors. So every company or organization need to have proper third-party risk management program in place, making sure that they assess their vendors that they have relationship with. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. And also, a key area that we have to also pay attention to. Jamel, please go ahead.
And thanks, Dr. Abdul. Well, I was going to say they needed a robust virtual cloud. If they had it in the cloud, that would have could have prevented a lot of things. Also, they needed multi-factor authentication for the identity access management. Someone got in there some kind of way. So in combination with running vulnerability scans, getting everything indication, it seemed like that should have covered it. I know they're going to find a way to get in, but those are some of the ways of preventing it.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, David and Abraham, and we will move on. Go ahead, David.
Okay, I think there are there are a lot of stringent things we can do, but the basic thing we can start is to implement least privilege access, and then also train the users. Humans are always going to be the easiest link for any kind of thing like this, and also implement network segmentation.
Okay.
That's what I think will help in an environment like this.
Okay, thank you, David. Okay. So David just spoke. Abraham, please go ahead, and we will wrap up. You are muted if you're trying to speak.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Yes, a situation like this, that I think there are several methods that an organization can employ to safeguard ransomware of this nature. So all the various measures that colleagues have mentioned are true, but I will put across this by saying that the organization could do what you call regular auditing to assess the security posture of the organizations so they will know the level of security that they have. I think that will help.
Okay, thank you. Now everything that everybody has said is in line with some of the things that you have to do, right? I think one thing that maybe probably nobody really spoke about was the company should have a robust incident response program in place. Because like I said, when I did the interview with the news, everybody's going to get breached. It is just a matter of time, right? You are going to get hacked at a point in time. So what is going to help you in that situation that you're going to find yourself at a point in time is to have a robust incident response program in place. Now, the incident response program, when you come to the steps in dealing with incidents, the very first step in incident response is preparation, right? And preparation happens before the incident. So everything that you said, everything that everybody said, we can place it in the preparation stage. So having a backup, putting in place controls that will help mitigate or prevent this in the first place. Now, when the incident actually happens, then we move into the actual steps of identification and detection. Then you move into containment. So containing the incident, not allowing it to spread, and then you go to eradication, and then you go to recovery, and then lessons learned, right? But the very first thing, as part of the preparation, is to have a good incident response program in place, and that will inform you having a very good and robust incident response team in place who will, on regular basis, conduct incident response tabletop exercises, right? So the tabletop exercises will help you to, go through different scenarios, come up with, a game plan of how you are going to deal with it. And also you are going to learn from other lessons from other incidents that happen in other companies. They can be in the same industry or outside your industry, right? So that is really going to help you. That is what is really going to, help you out, and you are going to know exactly what to do when there's an incident. There's been a couple of companies, huge billion-dollar companies who have an incident. That's, if you are well vested in the security space, It's not that much of a big deal, but it will become a very significant life-changing event for them because they don't have a robust incident response program in place, right? And as part of the incident response program, the first step, preparation, that is where you're also going to tackle awareness training, because mostly it's your own staff that will open the front door of your network to attackers by just clicking on some silly phishing email like email, right? So this is one of the very first, like cybersecurity 101 when it comes to incidents. But everything that everybody said, right on the money, but all that will go into before an incident happens, right? And as part of that is having a robust incident response program in place, right? So with that, we are going to move on to our second item. And with our second item, we are looking at the 2024 Watchdog Agency U.S. Consumer Watchdog report, right? And this report is on how much money people lost to scams and fraud and pretty much cyber attacks or cyber theft, right? So it was in the tunes of $2 billion, and we are going to look at the specifics, right? So the FTC, they said the top scams included imposter, fraud, identity theft, fake crypto investments, cost consumers. This cost consumers $12 billion in 2024, over 2 billion more than last year. So 2023, I think one of the cyber charts we looked at this. Also, I don't remember the exact figures, but here, people have lost in 2024. People lost 12 billion to all different types of scams, right? And on top of the chart, we are going to look at the different. I think they have like the top 10, ways that attackers were able to get, this money from people. So we are going to look at the top 10 fraud categories. So it was imposter scams, online shopping, negative reviews, also business and job opportunities. So that is gradually becoming. I'm not surprised if by 2025 the business and job opportunities will be number one. So people randomly send you a test saying, "Hey, there's a remote job paying you maybe $100 an hour, right, or $80 an hour, right? Fill these forms." And sometimes they'll go to the extent of even sending you like a laptop or something, right? And they'll ask you to do. Eventually, they are going to scam you, right? And then sometimes they'll even have you go on some websites and you are doing scams for them. So you are downloading people's email and sending it to them. At the end of the month, they will send you a check, tell you to go cash the check and then send it to your subordinates. And all those are, scams. But like this one is gradually, gaining grounds because they know people are looking for jobs. They are applying and they are also online trying to target people like that. So if you're applying to any job and you've not gone through the whole entire process, you've not gone through the 3 or 4 interviews, and whoever is offering you this job is asking for your social security number, your green card or your passport, or you should know that should be a big red flag. That is a scam, right? Any company who wants to employ you, you are going to go through the whole, and they don't really care about they are going to ask you, do you have authorization to work in the US? You say yes. They're not going to ask for any evidence. They will take you through the whole entire interview process. Now, when they give you an offer, is when they are going to ask for all those employment information, right? So if anybody is asking you for employment information before they even give you an offer, or they don't even interview you and they just give you an offer, you have to be careful, right? Now, investment-related fraud, internet service, lottery and telephone and mobile services, healthcare, travel and mortgage, that is the list, right? The other end. How much money was lost is listed here. So for imposter scams, 2.9 million. For online shopping, 432. For business and job is 751. So I don't know why it's number 3, but they have ways of, I think based on how many people reported it, right, is what is the ranking, is how they get this ranking. So we are going to look at some statistics also. So from 2022 all the way to 2024, this is the chart. Now, when it comes to fraud, and the list of fraud that they are referring to is what we have on here. So this 10, is the green one on here. So if you look at the graph, it's green. So gradually it's going up. I think it came down a little bit around 2014, 16, and then it went up again, and it's never been down until 2022, thereabout. It came down, but now it looks like it's going to pick up again, right? So, and then you have identity theft also on that same trajectory, and all other forms of scams are also on that side, right? And I think last year when we did a cyber chat on this, these numbers are almost the same. So younger people reported losing money to fraud more than older people, because older people obviously are more matured, right? And when they hear certain things, they are a bit more reserved. But because younger people are online and they are doing almost everything online, they really don't take, like things that will be normal to them wouldn't be normal to an older person, right? So maybe probably that is the reason why. I'm not really sure. I don't know that for sure. I'm just speculating, right? And then it also says here, but when people age of 70 plus had a loss, the medium loss was much higher. So the younger folks are losing more money. But then when, folks who are 70 plus are losing money in one transaction, they are losing bigger money than the younger folks. And reason also speculating here because they have more money than the younger folks, right? So this is the statistics on here. So for younger folks, per each scam is about 417. For older folks, 70 to 90, 79 is about 1,000. And for 80 plus is 1,650, right? So this is just to create more awareness and to let you know that you have to be a bit more vigilant when you are dealing with anything online, buying, investment, employment, anything. You just have to be careful, right? Now, before we jump into our conversation tonight, we are going to go through some of the courses that we offer at Eretmis Academy real quick, and then we will jump in. So for folks looking to jump ahead of the curve for AI governance, we offer the best AI governance program out there. AI governance specialist. It's a very interesting and fun course. Comes with internship. You don't need any IT background to begin. We take you from zero, and job placement and everything else is also included. Now for our cloud professional course. So for the cloud professional course, I can assure you this is the best cloud course that you take anywhere else, that you take in the United States or even around the world, right? And reason being that we are looking at cloud from all angles, not just the technical aspect of it, the strategic part of it. So if you find yourself as a manager, you find yourself in top management, you know what needs to be done when it comes to compliance, when it comes to privacy. Also, if you find yourself actually in the trenches, digging and doing the job, you can also do it and function, right? So it's very hands-on. And then also we look at the theoretical and the strategic part of it also as well. So that is what makes it very holistic and the best out there, right? And it's vendor neutral. So we look at AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. These are the big three. The rest, if you can do these three, I think you should be good in the cloud space. So we do live sessions twice a week, and we are going to go through and do some hands-on, do some internship, and also job placement also as well. But for the cloud, at least if you want to jump into this, then you should have some at least cybersecurity or IT background. If you have zero background in cybersecurity or IT, then we encourage you to go through our cybersecurity entry-level course instead, because this is what is going to build your foundation in cybersecurity. And then you can jump on to go to the cloud. Now, for our entry-level course, the focus is on the blue side of GRC, the blue side of cybersecurity, which includes GRC, right? So the blue side, we are referring to the defensive side of cybersecurity. So we don't do anything ethical hacking, also you don't need coding and none of that. All you need is high school. You should be computer literate. Then we take care of the rest, right? So this also comes with internship, hands-on, where you get to work with the tools, most of the popular tools in the cybersecurity space. And then we also take you through our internship, and there's one-on-one mentorship as well. So now we've set it up where when you sign up, you are assigned a mentor, and the mentor is somebody who's gone through the program and is currently working, right? So your mentor is going to be there on call. So you can schedule times with them and go through and discuss anything that you have issues and problems with, right? So this will make you a full-blown cybersecurity professional. So you can go from zero to where you can start working. And this is the course that Bettina went through, right? And she went from this to her current position that she's in now. And for folks who are looking to specialize in the most lucrative area of cybersecurity, we encourage you to look into our PCI DSS program. This is the best payment security program out there, right? And folks who've gone through this will tell you, if you go elsewhere, I don't know what they are going to teach you, but I can still promise you this is the best because I know what everybody else is teaching. This is the best out there. And for folks who are going to be helping you out and teaching you this, we do PCI for a living, right? So we know what we are talking about. Now, for folks who've also gone through some training elsewhere, you've done RMF, you've done some third party elsewhere, but really you are lacking the real hands-on working on real-world security projects. We encourage you to look into our cybersecurity GRC internship. About 80 to 90% of the projects we do during this internship, the focus is on GRC, right? So you are going to be doing auditing, you are going to be doing third-party risk assessment itself on the companies you are working for, and everything that you are doing, you're actually doing it for a real-world company. And the company that you are working for will go on your resume. The projects you are working on go on your resume as well. So you are going to be, you are not going to be part of the group applying to jobs who have, stuff on their resume that they don't know, they've not done. For you, everything on your resume you've actually done and you know, right? And so during interviews, you are speaking to things you've done, not things you've just studied, right? Studying is good, but doing it is even better, right? So you are not totally lost when they throw you some practical question, right? So you can memorize things all you want, but if you've never done it, you've never done it. And that is what we seek to bridge. So between knowledge and doing is our internship and workshop program. So for folks who are joining from different programs outside, is a workshop. For our entry-level students, this is an internship, right? So that is the difference. And we are starting our new cohort on the 29th. It was supposed to be on the 8th, but we've moved it to 29th. So you can still join. It's not too late. And for our WhatsApp group, the link will be posted, so you'll be able to join. And then our YouTube channel, we encourage you to subscribe and join. Everything that we do Friday night is on our YouTube channel, so you can also look into that as well. Now we are going to jump into our discussion for tonight. Now I'm going to hand over to Michael. Michael is going to take it from here. So Michael, if you are ready, you can let me know. And I think I've seen Bettina also on here, so Bettina is also ready to go. So Michael, kindly let me know when you're ready.
All right, good evening or good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's doing well. I think we have good representation from across the globe. So just big shout outs to those who are joining from other continent and just staying early up and also late night just to join and listen to this. So we really do appreciate all. I'm looking in the chat here. We have some people from Louisiana. We have some people also from Nigeria. So yeah, I just wanted to take a quick, second, and I appreciate you all for joining. For those who joined late, as you can see in the chat, if you need to renew any certification, just do #TeamLive, grab a screenshot, file it away. You can do this every single Friday. When the time is for you to renew, you just multiply by 1 and you know how many CPUs or CEUs that you have. All right, now let's go ahead and dive into what we are here today. I'm sure most of you here, I know there's about 85 people here in the chat today, and some of you are just, getting your feet wet in cybersecurity, trying to figure out where you need to go. We are hoping to have some of your answers to the questions that you may have today for you. So we have a person who very experienced in cybersecurity now, went through the program, and she can share her experience so you can become also an expert in cybersecurity starting from ground zero. So we have the privilege of one of our members here called Bettina. So we'll be interviewing Bettina about her journey into cybersecurity, how she got into it, what she's currently doing, some of the challenges that she faces at work, and also she'll walk us through her day-to-day activities as well, so that if you're new here, you can look forward to what to expect as you start your new cybersecurity career, so you can work backwards to know what you need to do, right? So without much ado, Bettina, if you are here, you can just give a quick shout out to the team here, just to make sure you're online and live, and we'll kick it off.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank you so much, Bettina. We really do appreciate your time. All right. Time is already fast spent, so let's dive into it. So, looking at your journey on a career path, Bettina, can you just tell us, a quick intro about your journey from Eretmis Academy to becoming a cybersecurity manager?
Thank you so much. It's quite of an int Can you hear me, please? I can hear myself. I don't know.
Yeah, sorry. It looks like we are cutting out a little bit. So yeah, we'll just give her some few seconds so she can get her audio figured out.
Is it? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes, we can loud and clear. All right. Thank you so much. All right. So yeah, we just want you to tell us about your journey from Eretmis Academy to becoming a cybersecurity manager.
Yeah, sure. My Eretmis journey has been a beautiful one. It all started a year ago today. And I actually met Dr. Edu. So let me just give you a little background about me and how I ended up joining Eretmis. So I'm a lawyer from Ghana. I'm originally from Ghana. I was a law professor also at UPSA Law School. I was teaching immovable property and corporate law, and also a corporate lawyer in Ghana. And then I moved into the US 3 years ago. And so basically, before I came, I was, normally if you're a lawyer, when you're relocating, people will be like, you have to go do immigration law and all that. To me, it was a little bit boring for me. So I wanted something different, something challenging, something very interesting. And I loved technology. So I decided to dive into cybersecurity when I come in here. So when I came into the country, I started talking to a few people that I knew that were already in the industry. And I noticed that all the people that I was speaking to, so for instance, if I talk to a friend who is just doing, let's say, vendor risk, and I talk to the person that, hey, I want to do cybersecurity, I want to dive into cybersecurity. All the things that the person was talking to me about were the things that the person knew about vendor and nothing else. So I was getting a little bit confused. And out of my frustration, I just went online, just trying to steady myself and do a few things by myself. And then I chanced on cyber chats on YouTube. So I listened to one of the cyber chats and I was so excited. And then normally you see how like Dr. to give all the information with the beginning and everything. I wrote down his name, I wrote down the numbers, and then I called him. And it was beautiful. I mean, the first day that I spoke to him, he had the time to speak to me. I told him my frustration with everything. And then he decided to, basically, he told me to join Eretmis, like the entry-level course. And this was exactly, I would say it's my anniversary today. I started just last year, and I met him in February. I started the entry-level course. So for the whole of February, I did the course, and then I joined the first week, March, the internship. So yeah, so during the internship, we had two different companies that we were working with, and then I was the team lead for Daspo Care. And I think we're about six people in my 6 or 8 people, no, 8 actually, but 2 dropped off, and there were 6 people in the group. It was a very intense group. And like I said, I'm somebody that if I decide to do something, I put my whole heart into it. I gave it my all. And Dr. Du was very helpful. And that brought me to where I am today. The internship was, I think it was 6 weeks. Forgive me if forgive me if it's not the right but I think it was 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks or so, yes. And then before we finished, I used to tell my group members that I was going to start applying for jobs, and I'm going to use that. If I'm lucky and I get an interview, I will use that as my rehearsal for my main interview for a job, basically. So I was just saying it's like, for saying sake, but then I was applying for jobs. And I think 2 weeks into, like, before the project that we're working on at that time was incident response. I remember perfectly. And then one day I just got an email that the company wanted to interview me. So I just took it normal. I did the first interview, and shockingly, I passed. So then I sent an email to Dr. Edu to tell him what I've done. And he was excited, and he helped me through the second interview. And I went through the third interview, and then I passed also. So though I did not take that job because I live in New York and it was all the way in North Carolina and it was on site, but I was so excited that I was able to actually go through a whole interview process when I was not even done with my internship. So yeah, so this is how my journey with Arithmos Academy has been for me. And then few weeks after we did our graduation, I had already, like, through the same time that I was applying for all these jobs, I had applied for my current job now, and then I got an offer after 5 stages of interviews, and here I am today.
Wow. Thank you so much, Bettina, and also happy anniversary. It just so happened that
Thank
today
you.
was the exact day that I joined the Eretmis family. So yeah, I know you're a very great inspiration to everybody else. So yeah, thank you so much. So as you heard from Bettina, she's just a validation for you to know that irrespective of your background, you see she's a corporate lawyer, writing and reviewing legal contracts and corporate law and talks, contracts, and now she's here. I know we've had individuals come through from different backgrounds, economists, we have some scientists. We actually had a nurse who went through the program and also pivot to cybersecurity. So long story short, if you are here thinking, does my background matter? As you can hear from Bettina, it really doesn't, right? My second question, you actually really answered it already. So I'll go through other areas. I'm sure there are some people here, Bettina, they are trying to figure things out, right? Some of them today is their first time. There are about 84 people in here right now streaming online. And they are trying to figure out, okay, how do I start? Do I need any specific skill or certifications? Or some people get scared that you might need a certification before you can get a job. From your experience, what do you, and through your journey, any key skills and certifications that you think are essential before you can become a cybersecurity manager?
Okay, this question brings me back to the frustration that I had at the journey. And like I said, most of the time, if you really don't know what you're about or you don't know who to speak to when you want to jump, like switch into a whole new career path that you have no idea about, it can be very frustrating. So I understand if somebody right here is going through the same thing, it's very normal. So I had a few friends that I spoke with during that time before I met Dr. Edu, and some people were like, you will need certifications to before you can do any applications here and there. At least start with Computer Security Plus, have CISA. I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't know anything. And I'm somebody that if I want to do something, I would love to have like a very good foundation to know where I am starting from. Like everybody is giving me different information. Somebody is telling me to just apply, set up some resume and apply something. Others are telling me that, hey, I need some certifications before I can even start doing anything. So it was very confusing for me. So during that time, I actually, and like I told you, I love to read. I'm a lawyer. So I bought a whole book, Computer Security Plus book. I read it, and then I have a very photographic memory. And then I wrote an Computer Security Plus exam and passed. But believe you me, I still did not know anything because I was told that I had to get certifications before I can do everything that I wanted to do under cybersecurity. So I just read it like English. memorized it, and I went to write the exam and I passed before I met Dr. Du. So before that time, if you would ask me any question from all the things that I have read to write the exams, there were no answers that I was going to give you than the only things that I read from the book, because it was just theory. You understand? So I would say that if you really want to come into this space that I am in now, I wouldn't say certifications is not good. However, with my experience and with what I am doing currently, when I was having an interview for this job, nobody asked me about certifications. What they all want to know from my experience with all the interviews that I did with all the companies that I applied to that contacted me, all of them, 90% of them wanted to know your work experience, how you can do the job. Because most of them know that a lot of people will have the certification but cannot do the work. What they want to know is, are you capable of doing what you say you can do? And that is what they want. I know people that come into the job and then afterwards, they now do the exams to have certain certifications. If you have it, yes, it's okay. But if you don't, it's always better to actually understand the thing, work with it, have some hands-on experience, and then get into it before you can apply for certain certifications. That is my opinion. And with the experience that I have, that's what I would say.
All right. Thank you so much, Bettina. So anybody here, one of the 85 people here on this Zoom chat, trying to figure out what you need to do before you can break in. As Bettina just said, you really do not need any cybersecurity certifications. I'm sure you've heard about a whole bunch of them, from CISSP to CompTIA Sec Plus, Certified Ethical Hacking, CISA, CISM, like so many of them, right? So as she said, you don't really need them. You can have 200 years of experience with all about 30 different certifications. It's probably, like she said, you don't really need all of those. So hopefully you're all inspired here today, so you know that you are at a good place and you can always start from where you are. So Bettina, before we move into what you do now, because I'm sure everybody will be curious to know what you currently do or what you work for and what you currently do. Before we pivot to that, maybe my last question for you for the background is, some people are facing different challenges right now. And if you can give those here, the 85 people here, those who are trying to break into cybersecurity, and if you were to maybe list any of the top challenges that you faced when you were breaking into cybersecurity and how you overcame them, I think that'll be very helpful. So yeah, any of the top challenges that you faced and how you overcame them, so they can also learn from you.
Okay. Challenges will be, I would say that it all person, it depends on you, basically. Because what somebody will see as a challenge, another person will just, basically, it will be something that is just a learning progress for somebody, you understand? For me, my challenge will be the fact that I knew that this is what I wanted to do. Some people are like, you first have to make that decision that this is what you want to do. Because everything in this world, every career that you decide to go into has its own challenges, because nothing becomes easy. Okay? Cybersecurity is a very good field. And then if you really want to venture into it, you must know that it comes with its own challenges. That if you don't go through, not appreciate it when you get it. So for me, it was more of I would say I was scared with the fact, with all the myths that I've heard from people, how you must know everything about IT, you must know coding, you must do this, you must do that. Like it was all over in my head, like I was telling you. So I was like, Googling around so many things. And with the same, I noticed that also there are so many people in the industry that they do not have the foundation of what they are doing. They just, somebody just set them up and they were lucky to get into some company to work. However, so if somebody like that, you are speaking to somebody like that, that person does not have a great foundation to speak life of cybersecurity into you. So such a person can really confuse you. Okay? So if you have somebody like that and then you're already scared into getting into this because you feel like some people even think that cybersecurity, you have to know maths to even know cybersecurity. And listen, I'm from a law background. I don't like maths. Okay, so imagine me coming into this and somebody will be like, hey, can you do this, can you do that? And I laid back thinking that it's not my field, or I can't just do it. Should have a positive mindset that this is what I want to do, irrespective of what anybody's going to tell me. This is what I'm going for, and then you go for it. Okay, because no matter what happens, you are going to face the challenges, but it all somehow, even if you join Eretmis Academy and you are an Eretmis student, you go through the internship. Trust me, if you don't put in your all, and when you come into Eretmis, Dr. Edu has everything to give you. Trust me, the foundation is there. He will take you through everything. You go through the internship, you go through everything, how to even go for interviews and everything. But then if you are not willing to study, there's nothing he can do about that. So that I would say that it's there for every career.
Hello, I don't know. I think we lost Bettina. Are you still around? All right, we'll wait for her to come back online. Looks like she's having some audio issues here, but I hope everyone can hear me. If you can say maybe a thumbs up in the chat and confirm if I'm not the only one not hearing Bettina.
We can hear you. I think we lost it too.
Okay, perfect. Thanks for confirming. Yeah. So like she was saying, so once we get her back online, we'll pivot to what she currently does. I'm sure most of you are curious to know what she currently does and how her pretty much daily, job role looks like. So once we get her back online, we'll dive into that. But before we wait for her, if you have any questions, you can please fill them in the chat and we'll try and answer as much as possible. And we'll be going to literally when you tee those questions up in the chat, we'll look at those questions and we'll help answer them for you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now, Bettina. Thank you so much for coming back online.
I could hear everything you were saying. I don't know what's happening to my yeah, I could hear all of you. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
No, you were good. Thank you so much for
So what
volunteering.
what was the last thing you heard? So I could continue from there.
I think you really summarized everything well. I think you are along the lines of Dr. Edu can give you all the tools and everything you need, but everything has to be you. You really have to put in the effort to get where you need to be. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah. So we are over an hour into our conversation. We are trying to be respective of time for those who are in different continents other than the US. So we'll dive into Bettina. People are here. They are curious to know what company you currently work for and what your daily, day-to-day activities look like. And if you can, I'm going to do like a three-prong question here because of time. So let them know what you currently do. Let them know how your daily job activities looks like. And people are also curious to know, just start my first cybersecurity job. What are some of the challenges that you face, maybe your first, couple of months, and how you can help them out. So what you currently do, your day-to-day activity, how it looks like, and also some of the challenges that you face, like your first, I would say probably 30, 60, 90 days. Thank you.
Okay. So I am a cybersecurity manager for Munich, New Jersey Airport, Terminal A. It's the main company. It's in Germany, as the name goes, Munich. So my company basically manages the whole Terminal A airport at New Jersey, and I manage basically the IT team on the premises. Yes. So for my day-to-day activities, So mostly my job is a hybrid job. Most of the time, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays of the office, Thursday, Fridays, I try to stay at home and take it easy with work. So from Monday to Wednesdays, I mean, I love my coffee, so I'll just start with. So yeah, so I'll get into my office. I have a very nice, beautiful office. It's a very beautiful place to work with, beautiful people and all that. So basically, I will start checking my emails and then I'll look at what emails that needs immediate attention. So for example, if I have like my service desk has sent me emails, and by service desk, I mean like the communication service people that send informations with regards to basically incidents that we have that we need to deal with. Yes. So if they've sent me an email with regards to any incidents that we need to deal with, I will check those emails. I will look at the severity of that incident, and then I will start pulling in the people that I need them to work on those incidents. So if it's an incident that is high, that is the most important one that I will look at. So I will ensure that it's been addressed immediately. And then if I have because of my role, I have access to most of the systems, and I've seen that we work with. So I will log into it, and for some of our stuff, we use Avanti to check basically to do our work basically. So I will log into my Avanti, and then I'll check the progress of all the tickets that we are working on basically to investigate how far all the tickets is going. If it's being resolved, if it's not resolved, I will contact the people that have to work on it, and then we do further investigations as to how best we could resolve the issue. So after that, I would read on the news and check out advisories, any security updates to see which ones apply to my environment. And then I will advise my team accordingly. So currently I am working on a remedial phishing training for my employees. I did a phishing campaign, a phishing training for the whole airport. So the finance team, my executives, the IT team, the baggage handling services, the terminal agents. I did a whole cybersecurity awareness training for them. So after that, I also did a little phishing campaign, a phishing test for them, where I tricked them into thinking that they've received an email from our HR, and I have over more than almost 300 and something employees now currently. And it was okay. I have a few people 30-ish clicking on my phishing email. So currently I am working on them, going through a remedial phishing training for them. Okay, because you are not supposed to click on a link. If it was a real phishing attack, they were going to put me into trouble. They were going to make my job very difficult. Yeah, so after that, I'll also review threat intelligence specific to aviation, as such as the vulnerabilities that, let's say, for air traffic controls, Wi-Fi, baggage systems, etc. Because I work in the aviation industry. I also monitor our vulnerabilities and ensure patch management cycles are being followed, especially for our critical infrastructure, because I work in an airport and we cannot afford to have certain vulnerabilities in our environment. It's a very critical place to work. And so basically everything relies on the IT team. You all have seen in the news all the issues that are happening. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, loud and clear.
Okay. All right. Yes, we can. Okay, I'm so sorry. So you all have seen whatever, all on the news, people are even scared to even travel now because they see that there are some planes that are, crashing here and there. So now we are very, very, aware of ourselves. We're looking at all the vulnerabilities that could happen. And so it's something that is very important to me in regards to that. So my whole team is on it. We are making sure that every system that we have in place is patched, no hackers, nothing is coming into our environment. Yes. So I also look at regulatory compliances and our audits. and I ensure ongoing compliance with regards to like aviation regulations, TSA, cybersecurity mandates, FAA, and NIST as well. Yeah, and I would say that for my company, they have it 2-in-1 because they also know that I'm a lawyer. I have a legal background. So when it comes to compliance issues and with regards to all the legal aspects, they are very excited because even though they are not paying me for that part. So yeah, so I maintain and review our incident response plans also, business continuity plans, disaster recovery plans as required by the regulators, and then policy and procedure development. I draft, I review, I update security policies. Currently, I'm working on an AI policy that Dr. Du, I haven't let him have a sleep on that for the past few days because I'm new in that field, and having to now AI is something that has become a huge part of our lives. And I am supposed to set up like a whole AI governance for my company. So that is what I'm currently working on now with regards to policies and procedures. And yeah, so there's also with regards to our vendors, yes. I also manage security assessment and vendors and our partners. I review like our service legal agreements for cybersecurity courses and ensure compliance basically. And then I have meetings. So for meetings, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, we do like we have our bi-weekly meetings. That is every Tuesday, every 2 weeks. And then I talk about I brief the IT team, I brief my operations, the executive management, and sometimes our federal agencies. We work with port authorities, so I brief them with regards to like things that we are working on and the issues that we have, how we are handling it, and the ones that we are monitoring and everything. So basically, that is what I do during the day. All the things that I'm talking about, I don't do all in a day, but this is what I do in general when I go to the office and I'm home too. And also, I'm always on call, even though I may not be in the office. If we have any issues or whatever, any incidents, I'm always on call for that. It doesn't matter the time, they would have to contact me and let me know. And then we create like a bridge call, stay on the phone, resolve all the issues that has to be resolved before I can, go to bed basically. So yeah, it sounds like it's a lot, but it's very flexible. And especially when you know what you're about and you're working with a great team and everybody is ready to help you on the team, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Bettina. I'm sure everybody's there thinking, what do you actually do? Well, as you can hear, it sounds like the summary of the gist of what she just said is she literally does everything. And I know some people are putting a comment here. If your legal background also helped you in currently what you do, I know you did mention the fact that you help review some of the contracts or legal stuff for them. So I know the company are very, very lucky to have you. Maybe you might probably have to start writing invoice for them to pay you more.
I know. They're going to be paying for that.
I know. One thing I wanted to touch on is I'm sure some people are curious to know, and I'm going to ask like a two-pronged question here because of time, so you can dive into the second one after the first one. So I'm sure some people are here trying to figure out, since you started with, like your first cybersecurity job, going through the training, or if you can highlight some of the few challenges that you faced, probably your first couple of months, to see how you came and you really sailed through that, so they can learn from you as well. And also, if you have any advice for someone looking to transition into cybersecurity, what are some of the first or initial steps you ask them? So first one, initial, when you started, like the first couple of months, some of the challenges that you faced since it was like your first cybersecurity job, and also any career tips, advice that you, knowing what you know now, any tips you can advise some of the people here on some of the initial first steps they need to take.
Okay, so for me, when I started, it was really interesting. And it was also, I would say that it was fun in a way. The very first day that I entered the office, I was baptized by fire. One of the people on the team, the first question I was asked is, can you create policies? Because we need somebody to create policies for us as soon as possible. So it was the very first thing that I was asked to do. And then immediately, so this is me and what happened the very first day that I entered the premises. And after that, I was just somebody, like, they told me I could go grab some coffee, try to meet people. And then they were like, how you meet people, they are just introducing you to everybody in their offices. And then I met the IT infrastructure analyst. And then he showed me a whole map of things that he's working on, and he needed advice on certain things. So I felt like everybody was coming to me. I mean, hey, you were introduced, you were hired as, their manager, you're going to manage them. So immediately they came, everybody was coming to you like the mother of the group. And in my case, I'm the woman. I'm the only woman on the team. Thankfully, I just hired another woman to join me. So yeah. So it was quite a little bit overwhelming for me, to be honest with you. But then I was not, because I had the training, I was not scared. And you would not see it in me because I was very confident. So some of the things, even though it was new to me, I've never worked in an aviation industry before. It was my first cybersecurity role. So I was relaxed. I took all the information that it needed for me. If you ask me something, I'm not too sure about it, I'll just tell you that, listen, can you send it to me in an email? I'll set up a meeting and then we could talk about it. So that was how I did for my first few weeks. And then, mind you, before I went into there, I already had like a plan in place. I had like my 90-day plan. That is what my mentor, Dr. Du, helped me set up. So I had like that in place. And that is what I was going by. I was not letting them consume me with what they were doing. Because you will notice that, and especially in the role where I was in managing them, most of the things that they were doing that they were having issues with and were feeling lazy about it, they will be dropping all that to you to help them with it because you're the manager. And that is not supposed to be the job that I was hired to do, basically. So because I had a very good plan in place, I had a very great foundation, it was easy for me to maneuver myself into it, learn quickly, also on the job with the new things that was introduced to me. And that was how I went about everything. And what was the second question?
Yeah, some of the tips, knowing what you know now, for those who are trying to just kickstart their career, what are some of the tips that you can give them to help them to be successful?
Okay, so I would say that for the first thing that I can tell you is to first to believe in yourself. Okay, if you feel like it's hard and it's confusing, it's a lot, you cannot do it. You need to take it a day at a time, okay? Because coming from where I'm coming from, I'm somebody that I love technology, but I didn't know much about technology. The only thing that I knew about technology at that time, before I joined Arithmos, was just the PowerPoints that, as a professor that I was teaching in Ghana, will be the PowerPoints that I will use to teach my students, or maybe like normal emails and so many things. Even for Excel, I didn't even know much about Excel. You understand? So throughout my, I was determined to study. So I learned a lot of things during the internship. I really took it seriously. And during my time, I was the lead for my group Diaspora Care. I really stretched them a lot. And I always say this anytime I get the chance to speak to people about this. If somebody is here and the person is in the internship, or you are planning to be in the internship, don't take it lightly. Make it, give it your all, your 100%. My time, we would start every day, Monday to Friday. We were meeting Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. to sometimes 2 a.m. It's not as if we're not working. All of us were working. Some of them will be at work and will be joining the group. Some of them will be at home. And then that is how I stretched everybody. But trust me, in the group, we all appreciated everything because everybody took part of everything. And I also loved the fact that during that time, I was the lead. And now what I'm doing currently, I'm managing people. So I only did not learn about, the techniques of the technical aspect of everything. I also learned a lot about how to manage people because I learned that in my internship. So don't be scared. Just take it a day at a time. Tell yourself that you can do this. If you are wrong in something, that is why the internship is there. You are there to learn. Don't be shy. If you ask questions and it feels like you're asking stupid questions, guess what? That is the way you learn. And that is how I learned. And I am still learning. Okay?
All right. Thank you so much. An hour and 20 minutes spent already. I have just 2 questions for you before we wrap it up. And also we'll give opportunity for those in the chat, also on the call, to ask some questions they may have. So my first one is, most people, I'm very passionate about this question because most people always do focus on technical stuff in cybersecurity. From your experience, how has, the soft skills really helped you? Is everything just technical, or you also value soft skills? That's number one. And number two, we know cybersecurity, the landscape is evolving. How do you stay current with, recent, trends in cybersecurity, like, of course, AI governance and cloud security? So first, how do you place, or will you value soft skills as you talk to the folks here? And two, how do you keep up to date with recent cybersecurity trends?
Okay. So for soft skills, I even think I started talking about soft skills in my last, what I just talked about. It's not all about technical skills. People will think that sometimes you may even go for an interview and then you will study so hard for the technical aspect, and you will go into the interview and the only question they're going to ask you will be your soft skills. Because at the end of the day, when you come into the environment, you are working with people. They want to know how well you can communicate, how well you can deal with people, how well you can work together with people. Because they need your technical skills, yes, but they also need the soft skills aspect of you to make the company grow. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So even though, because the person that was in my current position was excellent. My predecessor, with all the things that I inherited from him, when I go through the stuff that he's done, because mind you, Terminal A is just 4 years old. It started just a few years ago. They set it up a few years ago. So for him to build it up to the point where I am taking over from him, he was a very smart man. However, he was fired because he lacked soft skills. So it's very important to have that. You may know all about the technical aspect, but if you don't know how to communicate, how to deal with people in the environments that you're working in, it will be very difficult for you to move ahead in the industry, because it means a lot to them, especially the CEOs.
All right. Thank you so much, Bettina. And last question is, how do you keep up with any recent cybersecurity, trends, or how do you keep up with the landscape?
The first one is Cyber Chat. I don't joke with my Cyber Chats. I'm always on Cyber Chats. I learn a lot from here. This is my home. Eretmis is my home, okay? I love Eretmis. I go on YouTube. I watch some of the videos that I missed, some of the old videos. I go there to listen to it, because the news is always here, you understand? So this is one place that I always come to. Sometimes if something, if somebody asks me something at work that I don't even, I don't remember or something like that, I just quickly, I will type it in on Google, and guess what? I will add Eretmis Academy into it, and shockingly it will pull up, because Eretmis Academy for some reason talks about everything. So that is what I do the first, for starters. And then I've started going for conferences. My first one was in Texas. I'm going for another one again in April. I go for conferences. And with regards to AI, it has to do with AI policy, AI governance, sorry. So these are some of the ways that, I keep up with what is happening around with regards to the role that I'm in currently. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. We have 90 people here in the chat, and also we are 1 hour and 24 minutes over. So we'll probably wrap it up here, and I will take questions from the team. I'm sure some of them might have some individual questions that we did not cover here. So I'm going to open it up to the team here. Please, if you have any questions, please feel free and raise your virtual hand, and I'll give you the opportunity to ask Bettina. And I'm looking at the chat here. I think someone is asking if this is your very first job after Arithmos, and I'm thinking that's a yes, right?
Yes, this is my first job.
Correct. All right, first job.
I see somebody is asking about salary. The salary is amazing. It's very good.
Yes. Any questions from the chat? I'm looking through here. Okay, all right. So Charles, please go ahead. You can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, I was asking if Bettina, they told you about the aviation cybersecurity, something like that?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Charles.
Cybersecurity for, yes.
Yeah, please go ahead. Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yeah, so I went somewhere to get like training before Arithmos, and they was trying to give me like a aviation cybersecurity. So I was asking Bettina if they require her to know that the aviation cybersecurity to do the job.
Okay,
I'm
gotcha.
not following you with your. I don't understand.
I think Bettina, so I think Charles is trying to ask if you had to really have an aviation background or know something about aviation cybersecurity before you got your role.
Oh no. I don't have an aviation background. Like I told you, I'm from a legal background, and then I switched into cybersecurity. And you don't have to, if you're working in an environment like that, you don't really have to have like an aviation background. You need to understand cybersecurity. You need to understand how to protect the environments that you are in. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you should know something about aviation before you could join um, the aviation industry. No.
All right. Thank you so much, Bettina. Someone is also asking in the chat here, was your interview in person or it was virtual?
The first one was virtual. The very first one was virtual, but the other four was all in person. Yeah, I did 5 different interviews. The first one was a virtual one, and afterwards, all the other ones I had to go to the premises to do everything in person. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. So I think we have some questions, some hands raised. So if you're lower, please, you can go ahead and after Jacqueline.
Yes,
Hi.
thank you, Bettina, for coming over here to talk to us about your amazing background. I truly appreciate this. I have a quick question regarding soft skills. Have you ever had any situation where you had any basic issue, major or minor issues with any of your team members? Can you give us a scenario and how you tackle that?
This is very interesting because it's like she's interviewing me for a job. Is there any role that you're giving me?
I wish I could.
No. To be honest with you, I haven't experienced ever since I started working there. Like I told you, I was the first woman on the team. Okay, the mother of the team, basically. And I'm naturally somebody that I really know how to deal with people. So even though when I entered, I mean, every office has its own politics. Okay, and then I noticed that a lot of the men on the team, because almost everybody is older than me. Okay, and I have people that have so many years of experience in the roles that they are playing on the team. So, and as men, and sometimes ego and stuff like that get into the way, and then they forget about what they have to do for the company. So I got to know them. You need to get to know the people that you're working with, basically. You understand? And then know their weaknesses, know what makes them happy. You need to understand them enough to be able to get them to do to do the work, basically. So I haven't had an issue where having an issue with an employee, but then there are times that I've seen them having issues, but then I found a way around to make sure that sometimes at the end of the day, we could all go for like a drink, you understand, making sure that, because they are boys, if you all come together, sit down, have a drink. At the end of the day, we come back the next day after work, Monday, everybody is okay. Then I start telling them that, hey, I need you to do A, B, and C. I need you to do that here. And so that is how I go about handling the people that I work with, because you need to understand them enough to be able to work with them. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Bettina. We still have, so if we're lower, please go ahead and ask your question. And then I believe Moise, or hopefully I got the name right. So yeah, if you're lower, please go ahead.
Hi, thank you so much for your time. I have a couple of questions, but my first question is, your background kind of resonates with mine. So I'm coming from a legal background as well, but as an international lawyer. So I wanted to know which entry role would you recommend based on your experience and expertise for someone transitioning from a legal background? Like which
Entry role.
cybersecurity entry role would you recommend for someone, for a lawyer, an international lawyer?
The very first question, the first thing that I'm not comfortable with your question is the fact that you even use entry. Never sell yourself short. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm just trying to learn the terms.
Yeah, it's
My
fine.
bad.
I understand. It's okay. It's okay. But you in life, right? Anytime you're entering into something, if you studied for something, okay, somebody has even been in it for 20 years, 25 years.
Okay.
You have just a few years into it, but then if you are determined and you've read and you've studied and you know what you're about, you can do what they are doing. So I have friends and people that when they go online to search for jobs, they are looking for just the entry level jobs because they feel like they cannot do the ones that are higher. Never sell yourself short. Apply for anything. If you want to do cybersecurity, if you've entered into it, if you've done internship, if you've done hands-on trainings, and you know that this is what you are comfortable with, you know how to draft policies, you know how to do risk assessment, you know how to, incident response plans, you know how to go about everything, vendor risk assessment, whatever. Okay, don't sell yourself short. Apply for any role that you have studied. Trust me, you could get it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
right.
Thank you so much. I think my confusion is because I'm just trying to learn I'm just familiarizing myself with some languages. So I just thought that every cybersecurity role had an entry role. But that aside, I wanted to know if you think programming skill is something very important. I don't tend to be repetitive. Can you hear me, please?
Yes,
we can hear
Okay,
you.
sorry. I didn't tend to sound repetitive or something, or want you to sound repetitive. But I wanted to know if programming skills is something you have to have in the GRC and audit and everything, like the policy part of cybersecurity. I wanted to know if programming skills is something really required.
Dr. G, would you want to take this?
Oh,
I think
Hello?
Michael will take this one.
Yeah. I don't want to be the only one talking here.
That's fine. So because of time, all I'll say is no, you do not need any programming skills. Okay. You do not. Yeah. Cool. And someone is asking, you do not also need certification. That's why I saw that in the yeah. And going through the chat here, I think someone is asking how many years of experience so this one is so when you come to Arithmos, we'll always help you build your resume and with your job placement assistant. So when it comes to how many years of experience you need to put on a resume, it's very dependent on the job description, right? Because you've had a job at your point in life before, right? So depending on job description, or require some soft skills, or require some paying attention to detail. So we put all of these together so we can gauge how many years of experience you can have or put on your resume before you get a job. So don't think only cybersecurity is what you need in terms your experience, right? Because everything counts. And also during the internship and also the whole program, you'll be working on a lot of projects and stuff like that. That also counts towards your experience, right? So depending on how long you take. So yeah, we'll coach you all of that. So do not be worried at all if you think the number of years will be a problem when you're applying for jobs. So Moise, I don't know if it's Moise or Moise, please go ahead and also Linda. Because of time, we'll try and speed it.
Yeah, I'm Moise. First of
Hi,
all,
Moise.
That was
yeah,
what I was
Bettina.
trying to.
Yeah, Bettina. First of all, congratulations, sister. As a Black African woman in America, man, you made it. Congratulations. God is
Thank
great.
you.
No, I'm
Thank
sure
you.
God is great. So I work in the same terminal as you, hey, New
I
Jersey.
know.
Yeah, so I'm about to start internship with Dr. Ado, GRC internship. I just would like to know if it's possible to share your contact. We never know. You're already there. I mean, you work with white people, so we never know if you can help us, just to help us out to follow your step. You know, yeah. I just
You,
wonder if it's possible to.
which department are you?
No, I'm not inside the airport. I work outside the airport, but I
Oh,
very
okay.
know Terminal A.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I just graduated a master's degree in cybersecurity, but I don't have a hands-on. So this
Okay.
internship will really help me to jump inside the field. And talking to people like you, you just blow my mind up, man. I'm just impressed. So yeah, if you don't mind, please, if you can maybe
No
share your
problem.
contact,
I'll share. I'm sharing my
you,
contacts
Yeah,
yeah,
to
you
you
can
now.
help, yeah, that's it for me.
Bettina's LinkedIn will be posted, so you'll be able to link up on LinkedIn.
Yes, please remember my
Yes.
name, Bettina. When I be ready, I will contact you. I say
No
now, time for
problem.
me to
You
jump
could you
inside
could
the
you
field.
can come to my office. You could come over there. Come inside there. Come and look for me.
Okay,
Okay.
I will. Thank
Okay.
you so much. Thank you,
You're
sister. God
welcome.
bless you. Good job.
God bless you too.
Congratulations. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, there you go. Networking already in place. Please, Linda, go ahead.
Hi everyone. Good evening to you all. First off, I would like to thank Dr. Emmanuel Adu for setting this up. I think mine is mine is not exactly the question type, but mine is more of a contributory point to add to what Bettina just said. I actually know Bettina personally, and she's my sister. Okay, with wherever she's gotten to, it has been a great deal of determination. I have never ever seen a more determined person like Bettina. Once she sets her mind to do something, trust me, she will make sure she focus and not lose sight until she attains that goal, right? So cyber is a great opportunity for everybody that's is interested in that space. But I would say that it's more of you, number one, don't lose focus, be very determined. And another thing that I love about Bettina is she would ask when she doesn't know. Okay, everybody is not perfect. We all learn as we go. Even when you are very experienced, you still ask questions and you learn as you go, right? So I believe that if you don't know and you're not sure, go to the right people, ask the necessary questions. Sometimes it might feel like, oh, you're not getting anywhere. It might feel like you're having hurdles, bumps on the road. It's normal. It's part of life, right? Whenever you encounter that, just pick yourself up, take a deep breath, take a break if you need to, and then get on the move again. So you first off have a goal that this is where I want to get to. This is what I want to be. This is where I want to be. So what will help me to get to that level? I would have to have the right connections, talk to the right people, ask the necessary questions that will help me get to where I want to get to, right? Of course, you have to put in the hard work. It will take time. Yes, invest in yourself, add value to yourself. And I believe that by so doing, you'll be able to, reach that great job that God has destined for you, and you excel in it. So, Dr. Edu, thank you so much. You've really helped Bettina a lot, and we can't thank you enough. We are all very grateful for you. And so I wish everybody that is also interested in this path the best for you to be able to excel. I wish you the best. God will help you as you also, focus and do your best, right? God will help you to get to where you're supposed to get to. So thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Linda. We appreciate your words of encouragement and also kind words as well. So she just did underscore the fact that you have to literally put in your effort, right? We can teach you everything that we can. Everything is on you. So I think we cannot emphasize that enough. I know some people are asking about job salary. I know that is a little bit personal, but what we can always tell you is it's a six-figure job. We guarantee that in cybersecurity. You can always negotiate for more, but yeah, typically roles like that start as a six-figure salary. I know some people also wondering in the chat here, if your first interview landed your first job, how did you manage your frustration? So this is going to happen, right? I'll probably have her just comment just a few on that, but just letting you all know, when you take your first interview and you don't get it, it's just look at that as a practice, right? Because that's how you become perfect. That's how you learn, and you see type of questions they'll be asking. You help build yourself up, you build your confidence and everything, right? So do not ever give up, right? Everybody's starting from somewhere, and it doesn't. It shouldn't really let you down, right? As she just said, just give it your all and you'll be perfectly fine. I don't know if Bettina, so they can just hear from the horse's own mouth, was that your first interview and you got it, or it took you a couple of tries?
Like I said, for my first interview, I was lucky. I got it, but I could not do the job because it was far away. And then, as Linda said it all, I mean, she's she's my sister. She's one of my mentors. She's amazing. I mean, she's in the IT space for a while, and she's the type of friend that never made me give up. You understand? I mean, most of the times that I was doing my internship, she would be on the phone with me, with my group members, and she'd be like, giving me, she was my fuel, basically. Let me put it that way. She was amazing. And yes, for the interviews, it's normal. I mean, there are certain times that you go for, I mean, I did a few other interviews. I mean, and every interview that I did, I recorded myself. Okay, so I record myself, and then what's the worst that can happen? Dr. Du always says, don't be scared of interviews. You will be scared in a way, but you still have to go for it. If they say no, it's fine. Okay, it's normal. You will learn from it. You will understand the reason why they did not give you the role, but then you will do your corrections and then you move on. So I had a few no's. I think 3 other interviews that I went through. There was one that I went all the way to the last end to speak to the CEO, and I thought I had nailed this job. And then I got an email 2 days after that. They were going for somebody else. I mean, I was so sure that I had gotten this job. And Linda is on this. I mean, is here. She remembers that. I mean, my sister Elke is also here. They all remember everything. So it's very normal to have, to go through that, and don't try to say that I'm giving up because I'm doing a lot of interviews, I'm not getting anything. No, all that you need is just one yes. You could get 100 no's, 99 no's, but that one yes is going to change everything. So never give up. Hello?
Yep. All right. Thank you so much, Bettina. I think because of time, yeah, we are like almost 45, hour and 45 minutes into it. Yeah, we'll probably give Ernestina, please go ahead and ask your questions, and we'll wrap it up.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Dr. Du. Tina's fine. So I have a question, a general question for anyone taking the entry-level course with Dr. Du. If you'd like to exchange information, because I'm studying for the course, so, we could share ideas, bounce off information and knowledge from each other. That's what I actually wanted to say. It wasn't a question. So if you're willing, please leave your number in the comment so I could, study partner. So, I could WhatsApp you or text you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And a way to also be part of the community, Dr. Du already shared all the platforms that you can find within the Eretmis family. That's a WhatsApp platform that you all can just, put a little comment in there if you want to join a group. I'm sure there are people who will grab you and make you join their teams or individual groups that they have going. Thank you so much. I'm going through the chat here to see if there are any pertinent questions that we need to answer. Someone is asking about certifications. So typically entry level, basic one. Sec Plus is a good one to take for those who are interested. But like, Bettina stressed so many times, you really do not need a certification to get your job. But in case you want to take one, that is a good entry-level one that will really cut across every domain. All right. We appreciate everybody. It's an hour and 45 minutes over. Please do not forget to take a screenshot and file it away for those who are looking forward to renew your certifications. You can please go ahead and do that as well. Going through the chat one more time and see if there are any questions that we need to address here. I think that should be it. Thank you so much, Bettina. We appreciate your time. Always a great resource. She'll be sharing her LinkedIn information in the chat and also the Eretmis WhatsApp chat as well, so you can all grab it, link up. There are also other professionals in the chat as well. If you need any one-on-one mentorship, just put a little note in there. One of the admins will grab you and link you up with one of the mentors. We appreciate everyone. I don't know, Dr. if you have any final closing comments before we wrap it up for tonight.
Yeah, so like Bettina was speaking to AI right now, if you're in the security space, another area that you have to, keep a key eye on is AI. And for us, you're not going to be the one writing code for AI, but you are going to be the one responsible for the governance of AI. The GRC portion of AI, we simply just call it AI governance now, right? And that is rightly so. Arithmos, we always want to stay ahead. So we have our AI course that we are pushing for, but I'm asking Bettina to have her company put her in this course, right? And we have, I think, Frank and others also whose companies are paying for this, for them to go through. Now, this is a way to get ahead of their technological space, right? So you're a security professional, yes, that is good, but you have to always improve and advance and stay ahead, right? So you can join our AI governance specialist course. And then for folks also looking to branch off and polish up on their skills in the cloud side, you can also look into joining our cloud security course as well. And for folks starting from zero, I remember when Bettina called and was asking about the training and stuff, I remember exactly where I was sitting. It's like, I remember when everybody that I talked to, I have like a picture in my mind where I was, what we talked about, right? Almost everybody, right? So it's almost, I think it was in February, thereabout, yes, February. So Bettina is not wrong. This is her anniversary. And to go from what Bettina did from, within 1 year, I think she got a job in September. She started working in September, right? Now, that is the end product, but a lot of work went into it, right? In Arithmos, we don't do magic. We don't have a magic wand. What the magic that we do is when you get a job, you'll be able to do it. Like Bettina is a cybersecurity manager now, and she's functioning. She's not having heart attacks. She's not having sleepless nights simply because of the training we put her through, the hands-on, the real-world work experience that she had, right? So she's very confident. She can do anything and everything in her role. So what we can guarantee you is you'll be able to function and do your job. When it comes to job applications, we are there to help and assist. The only help you don't get is the help you don't ask for, right? And we have so many, and like Bettina said, well, we have so many mentors. Bettina saw us on YouTube, Cyber Chat. A year later, she's on as a guest. She's been on several Cyber Chats, right? So look at, how far she's come, right? She saw something that was going on, listening, and now she's part of it. She's even a guest, and people are listening to her on what she's doing. And simply that was the sheer determination and also just perseverance, right? So 5 no's, 10 no's. If I tell you, I told you are going to get 100 no's, and that 1 yes is what is going to, make the difference. I don't think you'll be hurt, or your feelings are going to be hurt if you keep getting the no's, because there is a yes at the end of it, right? So you can learn, you can do the work, but when it comes to applying for jobs and all that, you just have to fine tune it. So if you are not getting interviews, you reach out, we fine tune your resume, we polish you up, and we are there with you the whole time, right? You have people like Bettina, Frank, Michael, and Michael. You have like 4 or 5 Michaels, Isaac, and there's a whole list of the whole army behind you. who will be able to help and assist you, right? So if you're looking to break into the cybersecurity space, our entry-level course will take you from 0 to 100, where you can start working even as a cybersecurity manager, right? And then for folks we know who want to specialize in one of the lucrative areas of cybersecurity, PCI DSS is the way to go. Become a payment security specialist. We have a couple of them also on here, and our highest paying students are the payment security specialists. When I say highest paying, they are above 200K. So that is what I mean highest paying. Everybody else, with the entry level, the minimum salary we've had for a student is 100K plus. The maximum is about 160 thereabout, right? With PCI, the highest, the minimum is around 140, 150. The highest, 200 plus, right? So for one job, not doing two jobs. Now we have other students who are the entry level doing 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and others, right? And for folks, you've done some RMF, some GRC training elsewhere, you have a degree, you have a master's in cybersecurity, you need a real world hands-on, experience, right? During interviews, you are not going to define and recite things that you've studied and memorized. Is what you know, what can you do, right? So if you've not really done anything, you can talk your way through all you want, but it is going to show. Like, I'll make a very funny example. If you've never cooked in your life, but you are going to apply for a chef, role, you want to be a chef to cook for a restaurant, and they're walking you through, okay, tell us how you're going to prepare this meal. You can go through what you've studied for the recipe, right? Go through and, recite and say it. You have a very good memory. But when they ask you, how long should this be before you add this to it? That is where the practical part will come in. Somebody who has actually done it wouldn't blink. They'll just go straight into it. If you've never done it, you probably didn't think about that when you were reading the recipe, right? Or if they tell you, okay, you put this in, it didn't really work out well. So how do you rescue, right? How do you go back to rescue the food before you mess it up? If you've never done it, you wouldn't know, right? But you can read about all and have a huge recipe book, know all the recipes. But somebody who's actually cooked that recipe, will do better. And then also on the job, they are not going to ask you to write the recipe down. They're going to ask you to cook, right? So that is what is going to make the difference between somebody who is actually done projects and somebody who is actually studied and just memorized stuff just to pass a certification, right? So join our GRC internship workshop starting on the 29th. We encourage you to join that. And for our WhatsApp group, the link has been posted, so you can go ahead and join. And then for our YouTube channel, we encourage you to go ahead and subscribe. And then also everything, like Bettina said, if you want to stay up to date with what is going on in the cyberspace, our YouTube channel is the place to be, right? So now any questions, we can still take questions. And then for our contact, that is on there. Now, Bettina can put her LinkedIn on there. And Bettina is one of the coaches that you're going to have during the GRC internship, right? So for the GRC internship, we have at least 4 or 5 coaches per group. And these coaches, they all went through the program and they are all working, right? So they know the journey that you're going through and they can help and assist you as well. Now, this very first series that we did for Bettina, we're going to do a couple of series like that for different roles, right? Because for our students, some are working as third-party risk analysts, GRC specialists. Some have been working for 4 years, 5 years, 2 years, right? It varies. So we are bringing a whole bunch of them back. Last year, we used to do like 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and there was very little time to talk to all of them to pick their brain on this. But now we're going to do it individually again, like we used to do some years ago. So you have that time, one-on-one time with them. And then also, ask all your questions and learn from them as well. So with that, we will be wrapping up. Michael, if you have some last words before we wrap up for tonight.
Dr. Before he does that, can I say how appropriate this is to have Bettina speak, considering March is a women's month? And
okay.
Yeah. So Bettina,
Okay.
where to go?
Say it again.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I said, where to go for putting the women on the
Thank you
pedestal like
so
you've done today?
much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
We will talk behind.
Yeah, sure. And to all the women here, go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Okay.
All right.
Now,
All right.
everybody
And
should remember about confidence.
That's
yeah.
all you need. Believe in
Mhm.
yourself.
Very much so. Ernestina, instructions were put in for you. Kindly follow that, and you are going to get a study buddy.
Thank you so much, Dr. Du. I saw it. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
I
All
appreciate
right.
it.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Right, everyone. We appreciate everybody's time. Michael, thank you as usual. Very fine co-pilot. And Bettina, we love you and we can't thank you enough. You've always been an inspiration. You came in, with a lot of force and energy. Yours likened to Michael, right? Michael came in and called, "Hey, Dr. Edu, I'll get a job in 6 months." Like, okay, you have some, and he did, right? Like
Yeah.
what you want is what you're gonna get, but you have to put in the work. So, just call it out, and the universe is gonna find a way for it to happen for you. But that doesn't mean you also just call it out and go to sleep. You call it out and actually put in the work, right? So, great job, Bettina. We are very proud of you, and we are always going to be there to support and assist. In the same way, you're also helping and assisting people in the community. So we appreciate everybody's time. Next week, we are going to bring one of our own again to talk about different things that they are doing on the job. So have a great and wonderful weekend. We'll meet again same time next week. Stay blessed.
Bye-bye.